Hey everyone, I'm Ian Stenhouse, producer on Dead House Sonata. I'm joined with Dennis Dyack.
Hello, everyone.
Dennis, what do you do on Dead House Sonata?
I'm the director, and we're here to start streams. We're going to be doing these streams every week, and in this case, we'll be playing Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. I think we'll play the entire game through, which is Ian has not played the game before. Well, not that much.
Not that much.
Right, so he's done a little bit of it. I obviously know the game quite well. But we'll be doing that and answering questions for anyone who has questions on Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, and at the same time asking questions for Dead House Sonata or any other questions that anyone might have. We're really looking at this kind of thing like a fireside chat, and we want to keep it open and transparent, and really our hope is that through osmosis, everyone watching these streams will see our philosophy on Dead House Sonata and where we want to take this and why we're creating Dead House Sonata and why it's the spiritual successor to Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. So with that, why don't we start with the cinema?
Let's do this. I'm excited.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've sat down and played through the whole thing, so this should be a lot of fun.
When it becomes necessary.
I remember when we first did this, this quote's from Aleister Crowley, and a very famous occultist, I would say. And we were so dark in this. Back in the day, when people made games like this, they were very not dark. And the only way I can describe it is, certainly Zelda was the high bar. So when we looked at action adventures, which is what Legacy of Kain is before action RPGs even existed, really. We wanted to do something very dark, very interesting, where there was no real black and white characters. Everything was gray. I guess it would be considered grim dark these days, as I would describe it. Very gothic, but very different, and that was the idea. And these cinemas, when we were first making Legacy of Kain, we were told there was no way we could compete against the Final Fantasies or the action or the role-playing games that were created in Japan, but we didn't care. We just made cinemas, and we did the best we could with software. The software that we had was before 3D Studios Max. 3D Studios Max was doing stuff, but there was no character. There was no character tools, so we used different tools to do some of this stuff. And we were all about story and plot and fantasy, dark fantasy, and where we could go with it. So that's how this stuff, and seeing this stuff today, it's really aged quite a bit. But I think it still holds up in a narrative sense anyway, and something that I look at today and still has a real special place in my heart.
So, just out of curiosity, this is earlier Silicon Knights.
Yeah.
Not your first game, but one of your earlier ones.
Fourth game.
How big was the team? Because this is still a fair amount of stuff going on for 1994 and 95.
Yeah, I would say when we started this, we were about the same size as Apocalypse Now. Okay. So maybe around 12 or 13 or so people. We weren't very large at all, and it just goes to show that with a certain amount of effort, you can do the right things. I think during the development we grew somewhat, but not that much. I would say
the tavern's closing. Best be on your way, stranger.
Even while we were finishing the game, we weren't any larger than 20, 25 people. So the team was quite small.
I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man in these dark times. Things come with the night that no sane man would welcome. And so I left. Cold of heart and servant. Forced to the road and the long, bitter night.
I remember when we first created this scene, I wanted to do something, really put you in a position where it was impossible to win, and where the first experience that you had as a gamer was just dying. And voice acting at the time, this is one of the things that I'm not sure if a lot of people know about Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. I'm a big fan of Marshall McLuhan and mediums, and the medium in this day was a PlayStation 1, and we had the CD-ROM. So one of the first really big revolutionary things was to have all voice acting. So I went all in on the voice acting, and I said, let's have no text in this game. So if you look at Blood Omen, you'll have like loading screens. Hey, Callie. You'll have loading screens and certainly some text on the menus, but by and large, there's no text in the game. There's no reading. And back then, what I hated about RPGs, especially narrative-based ones, was having to read on a very pixelated monitor. It really hurt my eyes. And I'm a huge reader. I love narrative, but yeah, you died, man. Come on.
I don't think No, you can't live there, can you?
No.
That's
no, but you can certainly live a lot
I
longer.
was
You can live a lot longer. You noob.
I'm
just kidding.
I was trying to last longer than I did last time when I started up to try the controls, but no.
Yeah, it's fun. Ve Victus. Famous quote from when Rome was first sacked. We wanted to do something that was very Shakespearean. The idea, and that's why we got Simon Templeton. So when we were first looking for voice actors, no one had really done this before, and they were like, do you have anything in particular? And yeah, I basically said, we want a thespian. I want someone who knows Shakespeare and who is comfortable with very complex dialogue. Simon was our first pick, and he was, obviously fantastic and fit the role really well. So.
Well, for the time, the voice acting was just phenomenal.
Well, back then, no one used voice actors. Most games, I think this was before Metal Gear, or slightly before, or maybe they're around the same time. And I remember talking to it with Kojima-san later. We had the same voice caster, so we had many of the same actors, but it was all done completely independently, and no one used voice actors back then. And it was a revolutionary thing. We're going to go to Hollywood, we're going to go to California. It was super exciting. And we wrote these scripts that clearly are they do not conform to Hollywood standards, to the, Aristotle's Codex 3-act narrative. I'm more into the world building, much closer to, say, Tolkien's point of view on storytelling, and I hope that really comes through in Legacy of Kain. I personally think it does, where there's a lot of characters, there is a lot of character building, but there's not necessarily 3 acts here.
Interesting. So I'm starting out. I need to suck some blood to get some.
Correct, and you need Hearts of Darkness.
Reputed to have been ripped from the chest.
A little thing that people might not know, even though I was the director of the project, I was also the lead programmer. So this was an engine that we created from the ground up, and I did a lot of the lighting systems here that you see right now on the PlayStation 1. That was some of the first R&D that I did, and back in those days, the instructions were all in Japanese, and that's when I met Mark Cerny. And he was very helpful, and if I had questions on translation of what some of the stuff meant, he would help me with it. He spoke fluent Japanese.
Within the walls of these chambers, I could find rest.
This is a save point. Correct.
And if I so chose, resume my journey when my weariness abated.
You have to go. I think you have to go there and actually save it, though, buddy.
Oh, it's part of the game?
Yeah, there's no autosaves back then, so you didn't save.
Okay.
Just don't die.
Don't die. Well, you've seen me so far.
We may be doing this again, peeps.
Yeah, I didn't think that would take me out of the area. I'll go back and...
There's other saves coming up. Just as long as you don't die, you're fine. Just don't suck, and we'll be okay. This is my biggest regret in this game is the loading times. And the story behind the loading times, I was actually working on a seamless loading system, and if you look at the actual map tiles, there's overlapping in the maps. So we had like a buffer, but because I was also president of the company, I got pulled into legal stuff with Crystal at the time, and had to choose between whether I coded the seamless loading or I did the contracts, and I actually didn't have a choice. I didn't want to do that stuff, but I ended up having to do the business side instead of the actual programming side. There you go. So that's why the loading is what it is. After Legacy of Kain, if you look at Eternal Darkness and our our next projects, I've vowed never to have loading times. So with Eternal Darkness, we actually had to put in some fake loading times because it was so quick. The transitions from room to room were too fast. So, and same with Too Human, there were no load times in Too Human.
Well, at least there's at least it doesn't start loading in the second you try to get into dialogue. A lot of games, when you start a conversation, you hit a loading hitbox.
Yeah.
It cuts right away.
We the streaming dialogue and playing where you hear the voiceover was a really fun thing, and I think that really helped make Legacy of Kain. And it really, that type of narrative is certainly a direction we're going with Dead House Sonata. So. I am. All right, so we have a question from Chamber of Ravens, the Elder God. Will the game be puzzle-based, just like Legacy of Kain predecessors, and to an extent single player? So, very interesting and complex question because the Legacy of Kain games varied so much. So I would say the answer is yes. So first of all, will you be able to play Dead House Sonata single player? Absolutely 100%. Will it be narrative based? Absolutely 100%. What type of puzzles and structure will we be looking at? I would say generally the same type of puzzles that you see in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, though we're going to be taking it to a much more extended direction with some content-based puzzles that we're really excited about, but giving those away is obviously spoilers.
Lots of secrets.
Yeah, so there'll be lots of secrets and hidden areas, and really with Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, there were a ton of secrets, and Ian, before we started doing this, was asking me how long it takes to play the game. To play through the whole game is probably around 14 hours or so, but to find every single secret is a lot longer, maybe 120 or so hours of exploration and stuff. And so there's a lot here, and I think finding those secrets is really fun. And then, of course, Dead House Sonata will have co-op options in which we're going to be doing some very interesting things with story and narrative. So there's going to be a lot of evolution and similarities. You will be able to see the roots in Dead House Sonata, but at the same time, you will also see its uniqueness. Thank you for the question. I think that last question was from our Discord. And thanks very much, everyone from the Discord.
These ancient symbols of power contain raw magical energy that increases my own capacity to summon.
So the vials increase how much blood you get on the side, and the pyramids are your magical max power. So there's all these things that you pick up, and the cards are your spells or your devices. Oh, you could have double blood suck there.
I'm too excited. I've been playing too much Warframe. I'm just trying to slash everything.
Easy on the Warframe. Come on, we're playing Blood Omen now.
It's a very different game, but it's. I like that. You don't have to go right up to the.
No, well, that was one of the things when I first started looking at this game and the mechanics of bloodsucking, especially in an ISO-looking perspective. Would we actually have to go up and bite their neck with the traditional, the sort of traditional vampires? And I'm a huge Michael Moorcock fan, and so obviously Michael Moorcock, in my mind, really revolutionized fantasy, quite frankly. And Elric of Melbourne was a huge influence for me personally. It was one of the first fantasy books that really changed the way I thought about fantasy, particularly dark fantasy. And combining magic and vampires and warriors was something that really hadn't been done, except there was a little bit of it in Warhammer at the time. But at the same time, I saw no fantasy games like that at all, video games. So it's like, it's time that we do something like this. And I know if I was a vampire, and if if I was going to do certain things, I would certainly be a warrior and create armies, and that would be a direction we would go in. So anyway, that's why Blood Omen is the way it is. So the flay, I love this is one of my personal favorite spells. I remember when I did the first one, where we did some of these things, and you'll see it. Yeah, don't do it on one of just.
That would be a waste.
Yeah, it'd be a total waste because they're free kills. You don't want to do that. I remember when we're first doing this, and I did this at E3. People were like, "That's really mean," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're a vampire. You're really mean."
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't expect a nice vampire.
Well, yeah, I think that's. I think that's one of the problems with horror these days is our lack of dark. People, even when you look at Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, or you look at Eternal Darkness, people always want there to be certain types of heroes, and I'm more into catharsis and making people really think about the experience that they're having. But it's not necessarily a good or happy ending in the things that I create. So that's certainly the case with Legacy of Kain. So doing dark things is par for the course.
Well, it's nice to see a lot of these abilities that he's using, and like the blood suck you see in Dead House Sonata.
Yeah, well, that's just basically a magical suck, and really when you look at some of these effects and the shuriken hitting a body, and then the skin explodes off and the skeleton falls down. I actually sat down with a group of people and said, what are the most imaginative ways we can kill people? It was like melting them, exploding them, imploding them. And so we literally went through and graphed it out. And then from there, we went and started implementing everything. And we started coming up with the concepts and the cards were made. And then the spells were implemented. It was just so much fun doing this. And rest assured that we will have similar machinations in Dead House Sonata as well.
A lot of gruesome stuff we're doing.
Yeah, don't forget to save. You got to go into, right there. Yes, sir. There you go.
Don't want to die and have to come all the way back.
Yeah, that would suck. This is way before the days of the autosave. So.
Okay, let's get back into it.
Okay, this question is from the Twitch chat, and it's from Varric Colden. Okay, question here from the cutscene, the very first cutscene. Some heavy influences there from several books that I was reading at the time. Is Vorador holding the Soul Reaver there, or is that just another sword? That's a really good question, and I think the answer is it was certainly an earlier version of the Soul Reaver. And Vorador was meant to be a very powerful vampire. And I can't specifically remember if it was exactly the same model, but the idea was either the blade itself or a sister blade to the Soul Reaver.
What was the influence behind this?
Thanks very much for that question, Varric. And fire away if you guys have more. I'm not sure if anyone's ever answered these type of questions before. It's been a really long time. We used to interact with people on forums quite a bit, but never live on Twitch before. Uh-oh, don't die. Throw one of those things, man. Throw a flay spell. There you go. Get rid of some of them. Come on, you can do it, buddy. No, you don't have any more. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
It's like so early, too.
Heart of Darkness.
The heart of darkness.
The heart of darkness.
Come on.
And of course, I'm off.
Come on, man. Oh.
Okay.
Trickery is this.
The Heart of Darkness.
I'll get the hang of it. I promise.
Why do I have a feeling we're going to be hearing the Heart of Darkness a lot?
Wasn't that one of the?
Suck the blood? Oh, come on.
I'm trigger happy.
Oh, man.
The Heart of Darkness.
Dude, you're almost out of hearts.
So when I'm out of hearts, is that it?
That's the end.
I go back to the last save.
Yeah, come on, come on. Double suck. There you
Okay,
go.
we're back. We're back,
No
boys.
greater relief
I'm very happy.
than that from vengeance sated. With my assassin
And that's
dead,
like
my
a
quest
it's like a
was over.
play on words, double suck, because you're sucking.
Oh,
You're not. Oh,
Yeah.
get the don't miss that orb.
oh. Love them.
You got to use some magic too, and you know. Anyway, the flay is your friend, but you don't get blood when you flay, so
Yeah, I don't have any flays right now.
no, you do not.
Tis not over, Kain. These fools were merely the instruments of
Yeah,
your
I'm still getting used to
murder,
the four-way controls.
So the interesting thing with this part of the story is these are the people that you get revenge on. These are, and then we wanted to put it in the story right away is that you get revenge and it is completely pointless. There's no win there, and we wanted people to go, what?
That there's just a bigger
'Cause,
evil.
yeah, most of the time when you play one of these games, you get introduced to what you have to do right away, and it would be like a save the princess story, or here's the main protagonist, and we didn't want any of that in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. We wanted to throw people into a world where they had to figure out who was good and who was bad, and that there were people who had their own agendas and their own motivations for what they were doing. And I wanted to see complex story like that you really only saw in novels. You generally didn't see it in film and television, and certainly there's certainly some good movies where you did, but you mostly saw it in books at the time. So there you go.
This poor town.
Well, you got to eat, man.
Vampires gotta eat.
Got to eat.
That's pretty interesting. A whole full town.
Yeah, we. All right, so now you're full of blood and you don't need it, so it's overflowing. So yeah, so see that's when you suck the blood and it overflows the top of the thing. You're wasting things now. But there you go. Now you've got a flay. So
Well, honestly, that blood suck, pretty fun.
yeah,
It's pretty fun. So I'm
yeah,
just
it gets
getting used to
enhanced. It gets enhanced.
Okay, I don't need these guys.
You're getting better.
Oh no!
There you go.
I pressed the wrong button, but that was fun. I love
Yeah,
the
yeah. She was a bad person and she needed to be
clearly
flayed.
deserved it.
Okay. It looks like we're having technical difficulties, and the video stream is currently stopped. We are working on it. I don't know what's going on. Give us a second.
Okay. Can they still see us?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
Is that correct? We're still being seen, but the video game itself is not.
Well, we'll use that time as a quick shout out to Scott Rook. He's our new social media guru and
He's got all the setup for us.
video
streaming.
director, so he's running around trying to get everything up and running for you guys, and he's
No, we're working on it. It's our first Twitch stream, so our first Twitch stream where we're actually playing a game and just doing a fireside chat. So please bear with us.
well, I'll take a break. I'm back at the. You guys can't see it, but I'm back in the tavern where the guy was like, "There's no room. Get out." So I'll pause here for a bit.
Yeah, we're in the bar. Correct.
Now I've heard when you unlock transformations like the werewolf, you can come back to places like this.
Correct.
And can I jump over the counter? Is that
You
what
can.
it is?
You can. You absolutely can. So.
And Lord knows I'm going to do that.
Yeah, well, we should go back. Finding all the secrets in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain is one of the most fun things. So, yeah.
Would you say of all of your big three games, like this one, Eternal Darkness, Too Human, did this one have the most secrets?
Yes, without question. And in this particular case, we built the engine from the ground up, but we also built a map editor, and we had a lot of people building levels and maps, a lot of which never made it in the final game, but the map editor was very easy to use, and you could build up things quite a bit. So you can make very large levels very quickly. So yeah. So and the sort of philosophy was, let's have basically let's have at least 25% of the game to be secrets, and that was kind of the goal that we looked for. So all the area that you played through, we wanted that many secrets in general. We wanted people to be able to see the secrets. So when you're playing it, we wanted to show a place clearly on the monitor that you couldn't get to, and then somewhere where you had to come back, like jumping over the bar is one example. Also, possessing people, that's one of my faves.
Possessing people.
Yeah, you can possess people, you can take control of them. So yeah, that's one of the spells. So you can sit there and control people, so you can take over the barkeep and run around and stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do that before I kill him.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. For a while, I had a vampire in every game that we had made. So,
Well, thanks everyone for your patience as we try to fix what's going on.
yeah. Sorry about the technical difficulty. We're working on it as we speak. Scott is working very diligently to try to find out what's going on.
But yeah, I love the armor on Kain. It looks really good. Like, it's definitely an older art style, but it looks really good.
Yeah, we got a lot of inspiration from Bram Stoker, certainly, and the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula. But we also got inspiration from Elric, of course, and a lot of the art that was done for the Eternal Champion series from Michael Moorcock. Yeah, we really tried to do something different, and he was meant to be a warrior vampire, not just the typical, vampire that we're used to now, the sort of romantic kind. We didn't want a romantic vampire. I wanted to create something who's a warrior, and that's one of the things that people, often ask. What directions would you have taken Legacy of Kain? And the answer to that is I would have taken it towards war. And Dead House Sonata is going to have a lot of warfare. So just checking up to see what's going on. Scott, any idea?
Still working on it.
You don't know?
Still working on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, everyone. This is this technical issue. I have no idea what's happening.
So all the war in Dead House Sonata. Tell us a bit about that. You've mentioned.
Well, so some of the story lines. So here's something I don't know if I've ever really talked about before, but when we were working on when I was working on Legacy of Kain, the Pillars of Nosgoth was, in my mind, the very first part of a much larger series where it was a petri dish where experiments were being done for something much more larger and on a much larger scale beyond Nosgoth. And they were there for a reason, and the reason was eventual warfare. And but none of this was revealed to anyone, quite frankly. I never told anyone this. I don't even know if I told anyone at Silicon Knights. The story, when I wrote the story, and when I sort of came up with the main points for it, I had a very big direction on where I wanted to take it, but never really discussed that with anyone outside the company. And when Crystal Dynamics took Shifter and made it a Legacy of Kain game, that took the game in a very different direction on game Soul Reaver. I think that's pretty common knowledge to all the hardcore community. And Okay, we're cutting the stream, everyone. We'll be right back just to fix this technical problem. I'm so sorry. We'll be back.
Thanks, everyone. Just a couple technical difficulties as we as we figure stuff
We're back
out.
up.
But we're back, and
We're
I'm
back
ready
and we're playing.
to hopefully not die too much.
All right, so anyway, where I was talking about before, so when I first created the storyline and where I wanted to see it was going to go in a very different direction. If you look at the first Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, it was more of an epic scale story, and I think the story readers after went to more of a, Amy took them in a more, traditional film and television approach, and there's nothing wrong with that approach. It's just different than where I would have taken it. And even in the first game, Blood Omen, there's a battle that takes place and there's war. That's where the future of Legacy of Kain would have went, and it would have been aimed towards warfare with other species, and it would have talked about survival and where things would have went. You can bloodsuck here too. Look at that, you're so bad.
These poor guys, they're just chilling.
Yep. Well, it's if you need blood, you got to do it right.
There we go. Give me that loot. For those of you who haven't met Callie, this cat sitting on the couch with us, her name's Callie.
Yep. Named after the god Callie, right, Callie?
We adopted her about a year and a half ago now.
We have 3 company cats.
3 company cats. We have Callie, we have Lord Cheeseburger and Revenant. Lord Cheesy and Rev are Rev's over here, but I know Cheesy's behind us on the table.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we love them to death.
We do.
We give them too many treats.
Yeah, well, they were a little overweight before we got them. Well, the idea was, you're so come on, buddy. It's not that hard of a game. It's not like we're playing Dark Souls here. Anyway, when we first got the cats, the idea was Revenant was a kitten, and I thought that these both Callie and Lord Cheeseburger were very overweight at the time, and we took the hardest cats to adopt because we knew that we could take on cats here at the studio, and I'm a big believer in adoption. And essentially, we said to them, give us the hardest cats to adopt because they were super overweight. Again? What's going on?
For those of you who can't hear Scott's side of the commentary, we do have to restart the stream one more time, hopefully.
We're so sorry. The program keeps crashing. We're not sure what's happening right now. We'll get better at this. I guess we'll have to run another longer test stream. We did do tests before we started that were 5 minutes, but it's crashing after 5 minutes. So.
But yeah, so we're back. We're playing
Blood Omen Legacy Kain. It's nighttime. That's why it's so dark.
There's a light up here, so I can barely see. Oh, there it is. I can barely see the screen when it's this dark, but
yeah,
it will be fine.
So anyway, finishing the story with the cats, we got Rev, who's a kitten, and he's black, and people still don't want to adopt black cats because they're afraid that they're bad luck and stuff. So we adopted Rev, who's a kitten, and my goal was let's get them. Our goal was let's get them all together, and Rev will exercise these ones. But it went the wrong way. Rev's turned into, oh, there you go. That was a little bit of light effect. They were just poof.
I like that.
Yeah, that was fun to do. The coding on that stuff was fun. So did the particle and lighting effects in this game. So, and I'm actually really happy about the time of day system as, the light changes over time. And we're going to have that in Dead House Sonata, only obviously a much better detailed system than what we had in Blood Omen. We'll do a feature on it, but it's essentially Yuri, who's one of our lead technical guys here. He's really simulated an entire planetary system, so it's pretty cool. So you'll see true moon phases and night and day cycles, weather cycles, fall, winter, spring, leaves changing, on color of leaves changing on the trees. All right.
Yeah, I've seen what Yuri's been working on over there. It's really impressive.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
We are...
There's nowhere you're running into the trees
Oh,
there.
there. Of course, I'm from a younger generation where these top-down games. I'm not quite used to the controls and graphics yet.
It's not T-ball. Not everyone's a winner. Oh, go back.
Is this the pillars?
Yes, there you go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we called these Vista shots, and one of the philosophies in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain was we knew that the game was going to be very expansive, and the idea was to have these Vista shots to show people what was coming because we weren't in 3D, obviously. But then the other thing is we also we wanted to do what we spent time on beauty shots where we'd spend a lot of time rendering specific things. And people are going to see that coming with the Dark Cathedral in Dead House Sonata, where right now you're seeing we've shown some town stuff. Where do you see some of the featured Dark Cathedral stuff that's coming? It's I think well, I hope personally I'm super excited about it. I hope everyone else likes it as much as I do.
Okay, so that's obviously a two-way portal.
Yeah, that's a two-way portal. You're just going back the way you came if you do that.
So the Pillars of Nosgoth, this is just out of curiosity. Did you take any inspiration from the Pillars of Eternity?
The Pillars of the Earth.
Pillars of the Earth, sorry, that one. I meant
Yeah, it's not Pillars of Eternity. I don't think...
Ken Follett series?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought it was a very interesting perspective, and the idea was, what if these pillars represented the foundations of society, of what the world was, what they stood for, and then the greater ramifications of why a vampire would be created in that, what was the future of that. That's why, that's where all of this story was originally intended to go. It never ended up going that way, but that was the idea. So,
Interesting.
we did all the lip syncing by hand here, and doing camera work like this back then was very, very difficult. And Legacy of Kain had 20 minutes of cinema, and it's pretty interesting stuff. Back then, with the size of our studio, everyone thought it was impossible what we were doing. So many times people were like, you can't do this, this doesn't make any sense. And it was certainly challenging, and we did the best that we could with it. But I think it came out quite well for the size of the team. And I hope that gives people some faith when we talk about bringing narrative to free-to-play and online, that although it hasn't traditionally been done before, we feel confident that we can really take a very good stab at bringing good story to the online world. If you've seen the latest statistics in the video gaming industry, 90% of all gaming revenue and games these days are now free-to-play. And although people may not want it to go that way, and it's not a personal decision of mine per se, that is the new medium. People watching over Twitch like we're streaming now, this is what games are all about. It's really, really changed since back in the day when we first created Legacy of Kain. So,
I've hit a loading box,
I think what's happening is we're doing a voiceover that's got to finish, and then the image is going to come up.
Okay.
I don't think we did multiple streams, so I think it gets locked here.
This is really interesting. So I can't hear it too well.
Yeah.
Are they explaining what each of the pillars
And he was
are?
basically, Kain was narrating what his first goal was, that he had to find Nupraptor, who corrupted all the pillars and made people insane. So now you have to find him, and what was happening, we had multiple loads there. That's why the game froze. So as the voice is going on, you can't do a load. So it's waited to the voice to finish, then this picture would come up. So that's what was happening. And this goes over all the different pillars and what they all stand for. So there's a guardian for each pillar, and it represents a different magical realm, or a different realm of not necessarily magic, but just a realm itself.
Okay. Am I gonna have to fight all of these guardian
Yes.
folk? Oh, I'm gonna do great at that.
You'll be awesome.
Hopefully they give me a bit more time to practice.
Yeah, if
everything.
anyone in between streams, if you guys should feel free to compliment Ian on his gaming skills.
Hey Scott, am I being mocked in the chat? Oh yeah, okay. Great. So am I going back now?
Nope.
No?
you should start looking at the map and stuff.
Oh, how do I do that?
So hit the play button.
The play button. Okay. So we're back in here.
Okay, so this is your inventory.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, there's these things called inventories, and so this will show you all the artifacts and your weapons. There's your Heart of Darkness. It was really fun making this. Will show your weapons and your armor, and then your spells are in the other.
Okay, so this is my inventory. How do I get to that map?
All right, so our next question is from Discord and Cyan Stargazer. And the question is, so you want to go over to the other teleporter?
Okay, so
The one that you didn't go through?
sounds good.
But we can go through that one more time if you want to see it. I'm kidding.
I'm okay.
All right.
I'm okay.
Anyway, the question, I'm sure all the viewers want to see it. And then maybe hopefully another crash as well. I'm kidding. Knock on wood. That won't happen again. So the question is will there be raids in Deadhouse Sonata? And the answer is yes. But the idea is what we're building, you want to go to your left, your other left? Left.
So that's
Left.
the one I went
Left.
through.
Left. There you go.
here.
All right. So we want people to play Deadhouse Sonata like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So you will be able to set if you want to play co-op and not single player and you want to get a group of people together, we want you to be able to basically, wait a sec, did I tell you to go in the wrong one? I could be wrong here. Can you look at the map again? Oh no, this is
looks
right.
new.
This is right. Okay, we're good. Yes, and you go back one. You can get a group of people together and basically plan out an entire epic adventure with up to 6 friends, and then you can save that and come back, and then when everyone's ready, you can keep coming back to that, and we will save your progress. So the idea is to set it like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. That's kind of the idea that we wanted to do with Deadhouse Sonata. So now you have a new form. You can basically fly around as a bat now. So no, don't do that.
How do I... That spells...
Okay. So you want to go to the map?
The map? Okay.
The big map. Other map.
Other map. I don't know if I'm aware of how to get to that map. Thank you, Dennis.
You're welcome. It's going to take me a while here because I'm not sure. Okay. All right.
There we go. Okay, let's do this.
All right. So now you've gone in that form, and the interesting thing about some of these, there we go.
Oh, this is your fast travel?
Fast travel, correct. And these flight sequences were done in Vista Pro, and believe it or not, I rendered them out with Kevin Gordon, who did the 3D. So you can go up there, you can scroll up. Go ahead.
How do I do that?
No, with the digital.
Digital. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting used to the controls here.
Anyway, so Cyan Stargazer, thank you for the question. There will be raids, and we're doing it set up like that for while Ian figures out how to fly. We're going to do it so you'll be able to come back together with people, and you don't have to necessarily do them all in one sitting. Or do you want me to give it a shot, buddy? So these here are these cinemas are done in a program, an old program called Vista Pro. They're all fractally generated terrain, and it's a program that I learned to use. So I wrote story. I did a significant amount of artwork in Cinemax in the game. Did a lot of the engine programming. So we all back then, you all wore different hats. So we did a lot of everything, and I did a lot of the sound design as well. Worked with Steve Hennepin. He was on the project for the beginning of the project and did all the music. Then after that, he wasn't on, and I finished everything off, and I took all of his work and integrated it into the game. And everyone who knows the history of Steve really miss him. He's recently passed away. But him and I had a great relationship, and he eventually came to Silicon Knights. So yeah, this is your fast travel. So
Okay. Cool.
so now you've traveled to here. So now you can keep going in the other direction. So I would go. I think it's left.
Left, the left one. Okay.
Yeah.
Back where I became a bat.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Unless maybe it's back the other way, but I think you can. It's been a while, actually.
We'll find out.
We will.
Well, the mountain, the vistas, that was a very beautiful shot, especially for.
Back in the day, it was
1996.
like, yeah, it was fantastic. So now see if there's an exit here. Look at the map. Okay.
So does that mean I can? Oh, there is.
Go
an
down.
exit. So that means there's a. I can now fast travel there.
Yes.
Soon. Oh,
So there you go.
I'm gonna die, guys.
No, don't do that. Don't hit the triangle.
Okay. So in lore, do vampires usually have hearts? Because I hear my heart beating.
Well, so that's when you're low on blood. So that's to show that you're close to death. So it means you need more blood. And one of the things we did in the game, obviously, too, is that vampires can be out during the day. That was always the case. The lore that vampires die in daylight is a more of a modern thing. The traditional vampires were weaker during the day, but they definitely could go out. Yeah, don't drink the blood of these guys either.
That wouldn't be good.
No, well, they're poison. It's bad, very bad. And I think you're about to get the light spell, so this dungeon, a lot of it is in darkness. So, yeah, you want to keep going up.
Should I backtrack a bit? Did I miss
No,
something?
you
do
didn't
think?
miss anything as far as I know.
These guys are pretty stupid.
A lot of the stuff that we did, there you go, you get some more life there. So see your life meter slowly goes up. This was very traditional for back in the time of Zelda, where monsters would just go back and forth like that. You know, it'd never be considered acceptable today, but back then it was quite common.
I hear some guy asking
For help?
for
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him the old graveyard suck.
No. Well, you're not going to get them now because you just left the room.
Can I go back?
You can.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And the enemy respawned.
Yes. Congratulations.
That.
So I think he's over. Yeah. So try sucking blood there. There you go. See him?
Oh. I do.
All right.
Is there someone over here?
There's something over there. Oh, you might have gotten the aura.
Oh, there's definitely something over here.
There you go. So you got some blood there. So you're doing better now.
Okay.
So watch out for this steel ball.
Yeah, I see that
Doing
thing.
great.
I know to avoid it. I'm getting the hang
It's
of it.
so hard not to take the controls. But I'm bad that way. I've always been bad that way. I'm kind of like, but I think it's better because it's your first experience. So now you've got a new spell. But you get those orbs too.
That's energy, right?
Yeah, that's energy. So, okay, so now go to your spell menu. Yes, so hit that.
That one.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, this is. I did see some gameplay of this.
Yes.
This is
So now it's. I think it's the X
Yeah,
key.
I believe it's X.
Yeah, hit it.
Oh, just.
There you go. See.
Oh.
So now you can actually see what you're doing.
That's nice. Ooh. Yeah, he thinks he's gonna get help from me.
You didn't help. Well, you did help him. Yeah, watch out for those balls. They move very quickly. Help me, kind sir.
He has no idea. I mean, bonus points for trying, but
Well, you know, when you're in shackles like that, you got to do all you can, right? You never know. You might get a lucky break sometime.
some over here.
So, you know, you can just, cast it again. So, yeah. So this was basically teaching people how to use the magic system in the game. And as you get more ruins and stuff, your magic power goes up. And, yeah. So this was quite fun. And again, so the idea of the game is we built all these different systems like the lighting system, and we tried to work it into gameplay. And I think that's what a lot of games these days are missing. They have all these very interesting systems that stand on their own, but they're not cohesive. And when we were doing Blood Omen Legacy Kain, the team being so small enabled us to do certain things. Don't miss that button. Go back to that button up there. Yeah, there we go. You're killing me. One of the things that happened in Blood Omen Legacy Kain that was a first, believe it or not, is I decided to take on the role of the director. And back then, directors really were only in Hollywood and not really in video games. And I thought that the game needed a overall cohesive and overall direction to bring all these things together, like these lighting systems and this gameplay. So when people are asking, is the gameplay and puzzles going to be like Blood Omen? Well, absolutely. That's just generally the way I like to do games. And I think one of the advantages of free-to-play is we can build this game with the community, and we can continually add and layer these things. Don't miss that button. Always hit the buttons.
So speaking of building the game with the community, we had a couple questions in the Discord earlier today about World Anvil and what sort of things we'll be doing with them. Could you expand on that?
For
What
sure.
are we doing with World Anvil?
So the idea of World Anvil, making games like Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, where there's been a lot of sequels, or Eternal Darkness, over the last 25 years or so, there's been a lot of people who have written and said, hey, I have this idea for a story. And when I've analyzed games like, say, League of Legends, to me it's very clear that community building has really helped made games like League of Legends successful. If you look at all the archetypes, they're really community built back from the days of Dota. And Dota obviously is community built. So with World Anvil, it's really a tool set that's made for tabletop gaming where you can help build your world. So them together with Project Dios is an entire map making suite that people can use for a tabletop. Imagine what we're going to do with that, and it's not going to be even close to ready until 2021, but we will be implementing that into our tool set, so you'll be able to not even need to open up the engine, and you'll be able to build story, narrative, and complete adventures within Project Dios for Dead House Sonata. So for those people who want to add story, we're going to allow you and create a platform for you to do that. People have been asking me to do this for so long, and I think that that's really cool. And whether at first we start with Dead House, where there's going to be very similar 5 to Kain, with make sure you get those. Get there you go, more magic power.
Nice.
There will be other houses like Giga House, House of the Giants, as we start, and that'll be more of a Nordic feel. Once we start introducing all the houses, the community will be able to add content and will allow people to monetize and sell their content if they want. The idea is we want people to feel like they can really, truly contribute to the game itself. There you go. You can never enough. Never have enough shurikens.
Let there be light. That's fun.
All right, we have another question from the community, and it's a Discord question from Warlord Kev. Will characters have lunge attacks? Yeah, absolutely. The answer to that is yes. Right now, all the gameplay we've shown has mostly been showing the Vampire, which is the fastest class. There will be lunge attacks, but we're really having a complementary of two real systems where there's going to be a twitch component, and I mean twitch factor component of gameplay, where you move fast and you lunge and you jump between enemies, where the Vampire is the fastest, and that will be weapon and class dependent. And then on top of that, we're going to have the action RPG element, where we have very detailed skill trees, where you'll be able to change different forms. Like right now, we've shown a Werebat, but there'll be Draco Liches, there will be werewolves, there'll be many different kinds of forms that you'll be able to transform into a vampire. But that will all be very different, say, when you're playing as a Revenant. And Revenants will be more of a tanky class, a much slower class, and their whole character class is based on hatred. So, and we have some of the early gameplay mechanics up on the website for that and the Lich. And the Lich is more of an energy siphon. So what you'll do is you'll get a few people who are asking for help, please help me, kind sir, where there'll be a vessel for your energy, and you'll use essentially people to cast your magic spells with, and you'll drain all their life force and move on and get other living beings. And so essentially they're vessels for you to cast magic. So there's going to be very many different ways in which all the different classes play. And on top of that, we have the new death system. So the answer is yes, the mechanics will be wide and varied and quite asymmetrical depending on the class. But then on top of that, even from a mechanic of living or dying, we want that to be very different. So thank you very much for that question, and thanks to the Discord, and we appreciate it.
Okay, I gotta save.
You should save. You're doing better.
No, I think I'm starting to get used to it.
It's good. Well, we can look to the community to see. Well, everyone out there, is Ian starting to play better? You tell us. Give him a rating.
Oh boy. There's
Are you
people-
saving over the same one? Because it's always saying empty, empty, empty.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. You've got like a bunch of save slots. Well, you don't. It doesn't matter.
There are people in the Twitch right now who's probably been playing this game for, well, as old as I am. So as long as
Probably older.
so, it is changed in here. Well, the game is 1 year older than I am, so.
You're definitely better, Ian. You're definitely better. The chat says you're doing better. I agree. I no longer feel the visceral need to rip the controller away from you.
It's just slightly there.
So you notice now that the blood is blue?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that.
So all the different color bloods represented white. So green is poison, blue is magic. So, so if you were to, like, ghosts will give you magical energy.
These are ghosts. Okay, can I
Yeah.
suck their blood and get magical energy then?
If you can get their blood, which they're at the point now, there's going to be different weapons in the future. We will be able to go back and get it, but yes.
Okay.
And so this is the early days for me when I'm starting to think about different magical systems and combining them. And we're going to be doing a lot more of that in Dead House Sonata. So when you look at mixing the way that these things work, it really was so there's a ghost there. You can get the magic from him.
Okay, cool.
So just,
Oh, get wrecked.
yeah. So there's these kind of things. I thought this stuff is particularly interesting. And already, so now you're in a dungeon that's so old, there's nothing but tortured spirits there, and you're helping them out the same way you help the living. So, and you're getting a little bit of magic, so they appreciate it just as much. Good job.
Oh, I feel like a great guy. I mean, the whole point of Legacy of Kain is to be the nice guy, right?
That's right. Well, no, not really. All right, the next question is up from Twitch. Blood Omen. There were 4 locks that opened up the secret battleship. That is correct. And I wanted to make that really, really, really secret. So there is no graphical representation of where those locks are. They are scattered throughout the land with invisible keys. So that's probably why it took so long for that to be found. I actually never thought it would be found. I just put it in there and eventually thinking that no one would ever see this. And eventually it was reverse engineered and it was found. But I remember when we were testing this game, we did go through and test it to make sure it worked. So there are literally 4 invisible keys throughout the entire world of Nosgoth, where if you know exactly where those spots are, you'll be able to open the locks and get to it. So it's super secret. And to find out where those are now, I'd have to look at the levels myself. It's been a long time, but there's no physical marker for them, so probably not the best game design. So I apologize for that. It was our first foray into this area. So thanks very much for the question, Blood Omen. We really appreciate it.
I'm I'm
Are
not
you
doing
going
so well.
backwards? I think you're going backwards, buddy. Oh, no, you're not. You're doing all right. See, this is another thing, too, right? Now that you're only getting magic, you've got to be really careful about your blood now, right?
Yeah.
So you're I think you're slowly dying, too, so you need some blood, buddy.
Oh, am I slowly dying?
Yeah. Well, you're running into those balls a lot, too, so probably not the best.
That is true. Yeah,
Don't do that. That's not good. You are doing better, though. I don't want to take your morale down too much.
well. Okay, I just got
You got a 2 out of 10 rating,
I just
buddy.
got word from Scott in my ear. Chat says I'm 2 out of 10.
Yeah,
So you're saying I could be worse?
that's right. Yeah, it could be worse.
Could be worse.
Could be worse. That would be a 1 out of 10. Actually, 0 out of 10, I guess.
The button's already pushed. Does that mean I'm going backwards?
It could be. Go look at the overall map.
Yes. I think that's fine.
Yeah, did you see any of those areas that you hadn't been through before? That's where you want to go. All right, so the next question is up from Twitch. Jay Vanosdale 2000. Will there be Legacy of Kain Easter eggs in Dead House Sonata? Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll be putting little homages and homages in Dead House Sonata from Legacy of Kain. Actually, from all my games, Eternal Darkness, Two Human, others, Dark Legions. There'll be a lot of little fun things that we'll do. You're definitely going backwards.
I've been here.
Yeah, so you want to go the other way. I don't think you're going to make it, but you should try.
No, I'm definitely not going to make it. But I was going left originally. Do I keep going left then, or should I turn around?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was.
Well, I'll die soon anyways. Get
Yeah,
back
don't. Okay. Do you see anything new here?
No. Okay, I'm going to get to a safe place. Check out that map again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Did you go down? Go down. No, I mean go down in the direction.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. So move your character in the down direction. See if you can get out of there. Come on, buddy.
Oh, look at that.
Have you not gone through there?
Well, it wasn't showing up on the map.
No, it doesn't. It only shows your current loaded area.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know then, but I'm definitely not going to live that much longer.
We're going to see the Heart of Darkness.
The Heart of Darkness.
This looks new. This looks like new area.
Is that
That's
human?
that's a human, but you don't need magic. You're just wasting time.
The Heart of Darkness. Sorry, I thought it was an actual human, not a ghost.
No, they're transparent.
Okay.
Yeah,
This looks somewhat new.
it is. I believe it's
Okay. Well, I'm sure that there are people in the chat who would definitely tell us if I'm just
I'm
wasting.
gonna die again, buddy. Keep
Keep
going,
going
south.
south. Okay, sounds good.
You have perished. You're out of Hearts of Darkness. Did you save recently? You
Yeah,
had
sort of
49
recently.
meals. Mutations are fun. You got one secret. Look at that. Your prestige, you're a whelp. Yeah. So, start game. Is it load or
Start game.
no? Or is it options?
Should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Load game. Dark Diary shows all the cinemas if you want to watch them again. So I think hopefully, save card
Yeah,
one.
I saved
You
pretty
went to card
recently.
2? Okay, you went to card 2?
No, I've been saving in card 2.
Oh, you have been. Okay,
Yeah.
I haven't been. I thought it was card 1 you're saving too. So hopefully it's not too bad.
I'm getting F's in chat. F to pay respect. I like that. That is a good meme, and I'm a big fan of that. Okay, so I have health again. This is nice. I'm just gonna play it safe. So all I do is basically go back. Okay, play it safe.
Kelly could be falling asleep on you, buddy.
Everyone knows how good I am. at
Okay,
playing
so
it
this
safe.
is this looks like the beginning of the dungeon.
Well, this is after I saved, so all I need to do is go back to where I was.
Well, go north. You don't need magic, so just Well, you might want to look to see if there's a power up, but no, yeah.
Use my lit spell.
Looks like you might have picked up everything too.
Alright.
No, there's nothing there. You can tell by the light.
Okay, here we go. So
you can see there's something in the right hand corner.
yes.
That's just a magic person. You don't need magic. You're fine. Well, the artificial intelligence there is quite advanced, so it is quite hard to
I
get through
believe
that
it.
stuff. Oh yeah, it's like
Did you see that speed run?
that's how they roll.
I somehow
You actually got hit twice there.
dodged a bunch of enemies, but then I started getting hit again. Sounds about right. Okay.
Is like Warframe a lot easier than Blood Omen?
To be fair, I am usually not using a controller, so I'll blame it on the controller.
Our next question is up. Are we getting anything such as executions in Dead House Sonata? And that's from Victor Bolonski Gracia. I'm sorry if I messed up your name, and it's from Twitch. The answer is absolutely yes. Executions are mutations. We're going to be working really hard on that, on coming up with some very creative ways to fight the living in the most visceral ways possible. And we're hoping to create some very uncomfortable moments for people when they first see it. So thank you very much for the question. That was a great one.
Okay. Okay, I am. So I still have no Heart of Darknesses, of course.
Yeah, you're short of blood. You don't need magic.
Okay. Did you like that?
I did, very much.
A plus. My heart is racing right now, like my in-game heart. That is.
Your in-game heart or your real heart?
Well, my real heart too. Okay.
Yep. All right, our next question is up by Golden Sand, both on Twitch and on Discord. And we have another Heart of Darkness. The question is, can you talk about ages in Dead House Sonata? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So the whole concept of ages is going to be one of the foundational things in which we can do community-driven content. It's not the only way. People have asked if it's the only way. And what it is we're going to allow people, as we're really early in the game, and it's going to be far from final, but things that people do in the game will remain permanent. So whether you name a city, whether you start a bloodline. So as an example, say as a vampire, one of your missions are that you decide to turn 3 or 4 people. Later on, when future people play the game, if they don't want to use, say, their own name, those bloodlines will be names that you created, and they'll be able to see their genealogy from some of the people who were in the first age. So as an example, Golden Zan, if you were to create an early vampire line and someone, say 4 to 6 months later, starts playing the game, they create their character, they'll see that their original line is they're a descendant of you and some of the things you did in the first age. Those are some of the things we're talking about. We're crafting weapons. There will be bonuses for those ages, and those weapons, as they survive each age, will get additional bonuses as they go. So things that are created in the first age will become very, very powerful, and it's the kind of thing that we can do that other people will definitely be able to get. So it's not that they'll be exclusive, but the way that they will be will be defined by what you and other players will do during those ages. So that's an excellent question. Thank you very much. And we're very excited about the concept of ages. We think it's really going to change the way people think about free to play and doing narrative, this is something, as an example, that you couldn't do in a premium game. So in a premium game, the game's released and that's all there is. But with Dead House Sonata being free to play, as we continue to roll out new builds and release different ages, the things that gamers do in the earlier ages will have a lasting effect. So imagine that not only Apocalypse is creating this game, but gamers like yourself are also having a significant impact. So that's what ages are going to do. And what things are changed in ages, we will look for input through the community. So if the community has ideas, we certainly want to hear, and if there's things you think aren't working, that don't work, that would be better tweaked, we're all ears, and having community involvement is going to be a big deal for us. So thank you very much for that question. I'm personally very excited about the concept of ages.
Okay, I think, do I just leave the same way I came in?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that was fun, a bit stressful. The camera's pretty smart, eh?
Yeah, you can zoom out. Don't get hit. Come on, you need the blood, buddy. Don't kill him. Okay, get it. There you go. Oh, man. Yeah, you got to do that a few times. You need some blood, buddy.
I need some blood.
Congrats for making it out. You get a 1 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
Go left.
Go left?
Yeah.
I'll go left.
I think left is the way.
Do you know the way? Yeah. Well, I'm really enjoying this so far.
So I try one of the bumpers. I think it'll zoom out.
Yes.
There you go. See?
Okay.
You're 2.6 out of 10 now.
2.6 out of 10?
There you go,
You know
buddy.
what? I will take it. This.
Oh, stop killing them.
Oh. You're right. I'm so sorry. Okay, there we go.
So the idea of the sigils were to mark that there were story elements and signs that people could look at. So when you see those and you walk over them, you're either going to get a vista or a sign like this, or you're gonna hear Kain start to talk about the world in itself. So
I like that.
That's a wolf. Yeah, you want to zoom in. There were no bugs in Blood Omen. It was a perfect game.
That's the other one.
Yeah, you're wrong one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No blood. No bugs at all.
No, there were some bugs for sure.
I think it's
Still embarrassing to see them.
after all these years in video games, people are okay with seeing AI clipping into
The
something
walls
and
like that.
fidgeting.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay, the next question is from Nicole. Nicole D.
LL
LL 1999. How often do you guys reference this game while producing Dead House? All the time.
Frequently.
All the time. I'm always talking about Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, some of the philosophies that we had, and we're in a very similar. The team's in a very similar position. The team is very small right now, and we'll be building and growing. We're on the tipping point of getting larger. But the idea is we want to bring the spirit, and I think that there is a voice in video games that's missing these days that you really don't see. So there's some really great games out there. You're going to get Wolf Form now.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some really great games out there like Dark Souls and the way they tell stories through no dialogue and stuff. I think that's very interesting. But games like Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, you don't see them anymore. And we're going to try to bring that voice back into video games in the modern era, in the modern medium. And that modern medium is, as I discussed before, let's think about some things to do for Twitch, but let's get some really great narrative in the online free-to-play space. It, again, can be totally single-player, but there's a lot of things that we can do as game designers that people just aren't doing these days. And it's all going to come down to one thing, and one of my big, so you want to go to the right, there you go. One of my big philosophies, or what I call one of my golden rules, is when you're making a game, It's entertainment, and you never know whether you're going to please anybody. You might just want to avoid these guys rather than try to kill them, or you're going to die. Yeah,
Do
so
you lose
jump
health
across.
when you-
Yes. Well, you'll lose health, not when you jump across there, you don't. But you just want to avoid these people. So, anyway, when you're making a game, you never know if you're going to please someone. So, rather than try to do what you think people want, you should always create something that you want to play yourself, and then you're guaranteed to at least please one person. You want to go back and up,
Okay.
left, up. Okay, now go to the right. Yeah.
Can you suck blood while you're in werewolf
You can
form, or-
transform. No, you can transform. I don't think you can. It's been a while. You might be able to, but you want to go to vampire form. You want to transform out and then come back. But you got to jump across.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you got lucky there. All right, so you know you gotta. You can suck in wolf form.
Okay, come on.
Come on, buddy.
Okay, there we go. He is following me to the point where I can't hit him. There we go.
I was getting tense there.
It's a tense game, and I'm very good at it.
You are. You're excellent. All right, next question. Will every class have its own story? Will characters be able to change classes? And that is from our Discord in Mournblade. Yes, the answer is yes. Every class will have their own story. Not only that, we're going to be doing some procedurally generated narrative. So every player who you just want to get out of this dungeon now that you have wolf form. Yeah. So you want to go back to the top. So you go up. Okay, now go to the right. Yeah, now go down.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there you go. The answer is yes, across the board, except for will your characters be able to change classes? And I guess I hadn't really thought about that, but my initial thought is no. But you can create multiple character classes as you play the game, and there'll be different origin stories. So one of the things about Dead House Sonata is, as you come back from the dead, we want people to experience why. Oh, you got another Heart of Darkness, so it's a bit more of a relief.
Needed that.
Yes, you did. And we wanted people to get their own life story of why they were killed and how they were killed. Again, playing back into the ages, so some of the things people do in the first age can build and add to the histories of people that will be in some of their backstories. So we see this as a really sort of evolutionary thing that we do with gamers. But that's only, you don't want to go in the water, buddy.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, I can jump in.
Yeah, into the cave. There you go.
I'm back to 80% health.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're a master. Thank you very much for the question, Mournblade. I hope I answered it well. But you will be able to create multiple classes and multiple saves, so you'll be able to experience all of the stories of all the different classes. But each time, because we'll be doing some procedurally generated narrative as well, it'll be different every time you play per your character as well, depending on things that you do and what people have done before you. So it'll be an interesting mix of things.
Is there a reason I'm switching out of the werewolf form without?
Either hitting the button or out of magic, but I'm assuming. Come on, you don't want to suck his blood, no? Yeah.
I probably will. I'm just trying to get some.
Okay. Well, there's other things over here.
Come on.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay, so you got a button, so it's good.
So there's probably a button
Button on the other side. That is correct.
Sounds about right.
There's combos. You know you can hit the combo by double tapping the button and stuff, right?
Okay.
You didn't know that?
I'm
Apparently
gonna
not.
die. Heart of darkness. The heart.
Oh my god.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
I'll do what every person frustrated with this game did and say they're blaming the hitboxes.
Oh, just get to a safe spot. You're scaring me. Do you have any spells or anything? No, you don't have anything yet. You just have the light spell. Oh man, you're just gonna die again. There you go. Oh, come on. All right.
Okay, I gotta go back up here.
Get out of there. Get out.
Notice some of the enemies don't follow me into other rooms.
Go right.
Go right? Okay. And then some do.
Save,
Oh,
save,
nice.
save. Yay. We made it, folks. Ian did it.
To a safe point. Well, the nice thing about these live streams, assuming I'm going to be playing in the future, is... Oh, wrong one. No, that's fine. Eventually I'll get better.
All right, we have another question. How many character slots will we have? And that's from Discord, Varric Colden. And that's a great question. Right now, we're leaning towards 3 to start, but we're open to what the community thinks is reasonable. Okay, you want to get out of here? Don't go back in there. You've just finished this. You want to go? You want to exit out? Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It looked like there was another...
No, now you have wolf form, so now you can progress to places you couldn't before. So this is the end of the dungeon now. Yeah. So now you can jump in wolf form.
Oh, I'm stronger, okay.
Yeah, you're stronger at night.
But yeah, 3 character slots.
3 character slots, and we're open to the community to see if that's reasonable. We'll balance this as we go and probably decide that during the first stage. But, you know, we'll continually tweak it to, you know, where the community thinks is reasonable and fun. So, yeah. Yeah, so I understand through the chat and through Discord and through Facebook, a lot of people are asking, can we get Simon Templeton to do some voice acting for Dead House Sonata? And, you know, we'll see. I'll reach out to Simon to see if he's interested and if it's a possibility, but that I think is something that's very possible. So give me time and we'll see what happens. The Heart of Darkness.
The Heart of Darkness.
Wouldn't it be great for him to do the voiceovers for the vampire line in Dead House Sonata? I think that'd be really cool.
Okay.
So
We have-
yeah, absolutely. The answer is yes. We will try.
I don't know what this is, but
This
it
is a
looks
cave.
ominous.
You need some blood.
Ooh. The red light makes it scary. Okay.
Now don't. You're gonna get a bunch of them here. Remember, you need blood.
Yes.
Grace is bad. I think these are hard. And you've been dealing with easy enemies so far, and you've had a few issues.
Yeah, I'm, you know, growing pains and all that. Learning pains. Wraiths, easy.
Okay.
Cash money. Okay. Gonna go through here.
Spirit Forge.
I haven't seen much of this. I haven't seen any screenshots of this room.
There's a really fun secret with the Spirit Forges.
What's the story behind this? The
Zoom
Spirit
out.
Forges.
The Spirit Forges, they're a place where different things happen. So you can make, you can exchange things for items. They're like an item exchange.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
you got to go up. There you go. Yep. Sacrifice blood. See, you don't have much
I
blood.
don't have much blood, but
Yeah.
I really want these objects. Will it kill me? Like, does it take a percentage, or does it take?
Oh, yeah, you might have a heart of darkness. Give it a shot. Say yeah.
I don't want to use up a heart of darkness, but okay, yeah, sure. I don't know what I was expecting. I was thinking maybe it's like 80%.
You suck.
Two
but
out of 100 secrets.
2 out of 100 secrets. You're rocking. You've almost got it done.
I love the. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go back to options and load. Maybe I might. The chat is saying you should use cheat codes. I'm thinking about maybe grabbing the controller at some point.
You are welcome to take a turn if you so desire.
I might.
I know it may be hard to fill these shoes.
Let me give it a shot. Do you mind?
No, I don't mind. You have a go.
And then you can ask some questions or interact with the community. It's been a while since I played, but
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you'll be much better than I am.
where did you finish off?
This was in this room.
Oh, the werewolf. Okay, got it.
So after this, I climbed the mountains. I don't know if that's something you have to do. That might be a secret.
I don't think so.
So bat form is
For fast
exclusively
travel.
for fast travel. Okay.
Yeah.
And I've heard there's a form that is it
Mist form.
mist form, and you can cross water with that.
Correct.
And are all these forms, or some of these forms, like secret, or do you get them as part of
No,
the
you
main
get
quest line?
you get them as part of the main quest line. So over here, I believe. So Ian, can you take the questions while I'm playing?
Of course. Okay, we have a question from our Discord from the user Kain. I know that name. Will there be werewolves? Of course there'll be werewolves.
Yes, absolutely. Oh man, now I died.
You can't have
so
a. I started you on a great save. You can't have a game where you're playing as a vampire or the undead without being able to play as werewolves. So right now you've seen the werebat. We have a lot of transformations planned for the vampire, and the transformations will pertain to the subclass or the part of the skill tree in which you've built him into the most. But no, you'll see the Draco Lich, as Dennis mentioned earlier, and of course werewolves, definitely.
Yeah, there will be many forms as the vampire for sure, but werewolves is one of them. And then, of course, that's what's going to be one of the vampire's things is going to be how we can transform, and there's going to be some really neat gameplay around that. I'm really looking forward to some of that. So, and then even thinking about the different types of okay, I need blood here. Thinking about the different types of transformations and how they play will have a big effect on the game. So.
Transformations are also one of the main parts of the vampire's asymmetry.
Correct.
It's gonna be one of the
One of the
vampire's
unique
biggest
things.
things.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. So.
Thank you for the question, Kay.
All right. How are people feeling? Should we continue with the stream? Are people thinking this is a good amount of time? Everyone liking it so far?
I'm having fun.
Me too.
Well, we've had Callie join us. I don't know where the other cats are. I know Rev was over there. They're telling us to keep going. Let's do
We
it.
will keep going.
Hey, Rev, can you come up and join us?
He's not coming. He's watching from afar. He'll join us in other streams, I'm sure.
What a cutie. Oh,
He
definitely.
is. They're all cuties.
The cats really love attention, so whenever we have like a design session or like a meeting at this big table behind us, it's funny. We'll sit down, we all have our coffees and we're opening up Jira, and all of these cats start swarming onto the table.
Whenever we have a company meeting with the table behind us, they all sit on the table. They all want their belly rubs, and when we have visitors come in, here we go.
Oh. Get that energy. Oh.
Oh.
I love they're hitting the guy you're sucking from. Okay.
Wrong one. What is the? I'm trying to think of the magic.
Oh, it's right bumper.
Right bumper. Okay. Nope.
No, that's the magic. But you only have the one.
No, I'm looking for. Trying to remember.
What are you looking for?
This is what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which button was that?
Right, R2.
I have lots of those guys.
Oops. Sorry, folks. I'm just getting used to the interface here.
Very interesting. I gotta say, the magic system, as simple as it is, it's a lot of fun. I remember playing Eternal Darkness, and I mean, the magic system there is a lot more in depth. Books have been written about it, but
Yeah.
this is a lot of fun, and as much as I'm not the best at it.
There we go.
Okay.
I hit the wrong button again, but I'm getting there.
So that's your destruction magic there. Who do we have? Oh, hey, Revy.
Yeah, I sure. I just saw today that Neil Peart died, and for those who may not know this, he was a huge inspiration for writing for me. When I first started working on our first games, Cyber Empires, I used to sit in the basement, in our basement when we were first starting, and we used to spin Rush, and I did not understand how a musician could be so good at writing and telling stories. The Heart of Darkness. So it was very upsetting for me to hear that he's passed away. With Hemispheres and Farewell to Kings, the writing that Neil Peart did really was an influence on me, and I mostly from listening to him, how he could be such a great writer, because I never had any confidence that I could be a good writer. Here, once you take it back. So I listened to what he said, and his advice always was read lots. And so that's what I started doing. I started really reading a ton. That's when I really started getting into narrative. And by the time we got to our fourth game, I felt confident that I could at least tell a good story. I didn't know if I could write a good story. Mm-hmm. But that's when we decided to do Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. And him passing away is very sad for me. Rush was a huge influence on my sort of narrative thoughts, and I just liked the way that he did things, and was very disappointed when Rush broke up. But I was a super hardcore fan, had all their albums and music, and I love all kinds of music, but Rush was one of the first bands I really, really got into. So yeah, very sad to hear that he passed away.
Mm-hmm. Very upsetting.
Yeah.
Lots of love for Rush and Neil Peart
from St. Catharines.
From St. Catharines.
From Niagara. So for those who are unaware, Lakeside Park is like 5 minutes from where I live. And a lot of the music that they write about is local to this area. So, yeah. So you probably want to get the shurikens for
these guys.
You can ignore them.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, I do want to get those shurikens. Which was
So it's
that's
R2.
magic.
It's a bottom right.
R2. Okay.
Bottom. Well, you don't want the shurikens now. Now you want the.
Yeah. Now I want the.
You want this spell right here. This is the spell you want to get. You want to use this here.
Oh, okay.
Right. This is. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Callie.
Love that energy.
You want to get that. So now you want to change spells. So that's the top right.
Oh, this is the destruction.
It's like. Yeah. So if you go into the inventory, So go into the inventory. I think this stuff was pretty interesting. So hit the play button. Yeah. And you'll be able to see the magic, and it'll go over. So yeah, go to the magic book. Yep. And it will tell you what each spell does. So if you go to the right.
So this is the right one.
This is Energy Bolt, and that's when the body parts are all flying across.
Love
So this is
that.
the kind of thing we have to do in Dead House. Obviously, we can do it a little more viscerally now rather than body parts just flying.
But we got to have body parts just spraying.
And you've got to have detailed narrative like this as well. So when you go into the inventories, all this kind of philosophy and spirit is what's going to be coming into Dead House. This is what I think a lot of this is missing from games. You don't really hear this. You get like text explanations. And we really want to go into what the origins are. And another thing with Ages as well, if we come up with a spell that's developed by the Ages, we can actually work the history in those players into the actual narrative of the game. So when other players come to play it later, they'll see all that and you'll have your hand in that type of creation. Now, certainly there'll be a lot more to community-driven narrative than just that. Obviously with the tools that we're talking about. Yeah, just keep firing away, buddy. Again, there you go. The body part thing was always kind of fun, right? Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, so again, another way, like every time we'd work on a spell, I'd be like, what can I do? And I'd be like, okay, let's have their body parts explode. So this is a little trickier now, right?
This game wasn't built for. I don't have a heart, do I? The Heart of Darkness. Great save. Love it. Muito bueno.
All right. So you're going to be reloading, and I'm ready.
Yep.
All right. So the next question is from Twitch, Janosdale 2000. Who did the music in Blood Omen? The music in Blood Omen was done by Steve Hennepin, who recently passed away. Someone who I considered a very good friend and I worked with for many years. He did the music for Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. He did the music for Eternal Darkness, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, 2 Human. I worked with Steve for almost 20 years, and he was amazing. I think his work was some of the best in the video game industry, and I know I think he was doing some work on Death Stranding with Kojima-san most recently, so yeah, so I think you can hear a lot of his stuff out there. Great guy, really nice person, very creative. And Steve not only did music, he also did a lot of robotics, and he did pyrotechnics. He just did everything. He was incredible, actually. He could program. He was just all across the board. And I remember when we first pitched Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, we really had no idea how to design a game design document, and we created something that was literally a Bible. It was like that thick. He was the only person in all of Crystal Dynamics to read it from beginning to end, and it was clear that that was the case. And I was so shocked that he was a music person and he did that. And he's like, well, if I'm going to write the music for this game, I've got to know the story. And I was immediately impressed. And ever since then, we became great friends. And he started out at Crystal Dynamics and later joined Silicon Knights. So just a fantastic person all around and super talented. So thanks very much for that question. That was a great question. I really wish Steve was still around today.
Which of all the soundtracks that Steve did when you were working with him is your favorite? Because I know my favorite of his was 2 Human. My personal favorite soundtrack.
So I think they're all good, and they're all good in their own different ways. I could pick different, certain things in Blood Omen, like particularly the Dollkeeper, the Dollmaker's theme, really resonated with me, but there was a lot of stuff in Blood Omen that I really liked. I think in Eternal Darkness there was just so many interesting things that he did. He did a lot of procedural music was generated during Metal Gear, and as well as 2 Human, and then of course some of the 2 Human stuff was just phenomenal. where we used full orchestra and choir. It was just fantastic. So I think it's really hard for me to say that I had a favorite. I certainly had favorites of all the stuff that he did, but I just loved everything Steve did, so I thought it was fantastic.
Am I full in energy? How full am I?
You're full.
I'm full? Okay, I'm not even going to try to
Yeah, you don't need to.
fight this.
Well, you can just blow. Oh, you need to get the spell first,
Yeah.
right?
Which I'm close to, but not quite. Okay.
So you can use the flay as well, right? You don't have to use.
True.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
I really just want to get to the next save point.
Yeah.
If I could find another Heart of Darkness, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Is there influence with the name Heart of Darkness from the book of Joseph Conrad?
On Apocalypse Now?
Well, that too.
Well, what? I'm sorry, I don't know the reference.
The book Heart of Darkness, which I think Apocalypse Now is based on.
Yes. The answer is absolutely yes. And that was the reference when we came up with the name. And a lot of man.
How do you dodge these things?
Okay, so the next question is up from Twitch, and it's LOC Fanatic, which is Legacy of Kain Fanatic. What is the Soul Reaver's origin when we disregard the rest of the series? Were there multiple versions of it with their own powers? That's a fantastic question. So let me talk about the origins of Soul Reaver. The origins of Soul Reaver are going to maybe surprise some people, but the origins were in Two Human. It was a weapon from Two Human that midway through the development of Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, I decided to take the weapon from Two Human because I like the concept so much of taking someone's soul when you killed them and putting it into the weapon that I put it in Blood Omen. And then from there, there was a very... we all stand on the shoulders of giants. There's a heavy influence from Michael Moorcock, where there were with him there were Morn Blade, there were like twin blades, and there were the idea of the Soul Reaver was a weapon of incredible power, but it also had to have its downside. And the idea of the Soul Reaver was a powerful weapon, but when you killed people with it, they would just explode and you couldn't get blood. So we wanted to show that there's no OP or overpowering weapon where you can, just go through and just win the game with. So we wanted to do different combinations. Keep going, See, this is much better for you, right? Mm-hmm. You don't need, there you go. Much better. Get out of there.
Okay, I have more health than I have the previous time.
All right, come on, buddy, you can do it.
So
So the answer is, so the origins, there were going to be many stories associated with the swords and the reason for the creation of the swords. And in the end, that was going to go into more of the sentient weapons, which we'll be exploring in Dead House Sonata quite a bit, and the reason for sentient weapons and how all those things are going to work. So that kind of lore and that kind of direction was where I was going to take Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, but of course it was taken in a different direction. And now we have an opportunity to explore those kind of concepts in Dead House Sonata, which we're going to do. So originally Soul Reaver was part of Two Human. So that's the answer to that. So thanks very much for that question, Legacy of Kain Fanatic. It's an excellent question. One that I'm not even sure if I've answered before. So, okay. All right. It looks like we got another whelp.
I'm still having fun. I'm dying a lot. It's not.
I hope everyone's not getting annoyed that we're dying so much. So
I'm assuming it's not actually that hard of a game. Or
no, I don't think it is. But looking at it now, as I'm watching you play, the speed of the machine, because we're playing on a PS3, That might be. I think that's affecting how fast the missiles are coming at you. They're much faster than when I remember programming them at.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think it's making it slightly harder.
Well,
So it's not that bad. You're not
as a
that
gamer,
bad.
I will gladly blame it on technology and not my skill.
I think there is some of that in there. I'm fairly sure. So there might have been some things that I didn't sync properly when I was programming some of the effects and missiles. So we are getting a smoking frame rate though.
Yeah. So I have a follow-up question to that last
Yeah,
answer.
shoot.
You said you took inspiration from Too Human for Soul Reaver?
No, we took the weapon out of. It was a weapon literally in the design of Too Human.
So sorry, yes. So what you're saying is Too Human was designed long before it was
Oh yeah.
created.
So the concepts, I created the concepts for Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, and Too Human the same week. So I wrote the concepts up. I wrote them all up. We had like 3 pitches that we were going around to various publishers, we met Crystal Dynamics. They liked both of them actually, but they thought dark fantasy would resonate better with the audience than a dark science fiction. They were both dark. So we ended up going with, back then called the Pillars of Nosgoth. But yeah, no, the concepts for Too Human and the concepts for Blood Omen Legacy of Kain created within weeks of each other.
Is there a reason you went with Blood Omen first?
Yeah, well, that was our partner, Crystal. When we bumped it, they looked at all of them. And Lyle Hall, who I have a great relationship with, good friend of mine now, he was, we had many producers from Crystal Dynamics. He was one of the most yeah, this is going really fast. He was pretty fantastic as a producer and very creative. And him and I had a long discussion. He just thought we could do both, but this is the one he wanted to do. And we were, as an independent developer, you talk to various people, you go with the best options you think are available. And at the time, it seemed Crystal was the best option, and Blood Omen Legacy of Kain was the right way to go. So that's how it all started.
Okay. Let's see if I last a bit longer. Scott, what's my rating in the chat? Okay.
It's definitely faster by watching it here. I'm watching it here now. This is definitely faster.
I'll take it.
I feel confident that is the case. The increased CPU speeds, because this is obviously a lot faster than a PS1. So I think the bolts would be going slower and you could actually maneuver. Perfect 10.
Golden Zan. Thank you, Golden Zan.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
That's a perfect score.
10 out of 10. You can't get any better.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, I think I'm feeling pretty good about this run.
You can do it. Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to give it a try?
Sure.
Let me give it a try, buddy.
Let's do this. I feel. Hey, Callie. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, the flails are. Sorry, what are they called?
Flay.
The flays are nice because they
home.
track. They
They're
home.
tracking, that's right.
Yeah, if I could just get unlimited of those, that'd be great. We've got this, Dennis.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, man, this sucks.
Nice. Take it home.
Yeah, this is a rough spot. I think
this is a good time to start wrapping up, but I think we have one more
let's take
question.
one more question, and then I'm
question.
going to see if I can get through this and get through the next save, because we need some love here. We got to get by this section. We need Hearts of Darkness. There's a magical operation.
I think we're ready for the next question, Scott. Okay. What was Akgik, and where was he supposed to come from originally? This is a question for Dennis.
Hashakik was a elder god, and he was one of the main catalysts for the whole story, and that is where we're going to take the game after the first game. He was one of the main protagonists in that. He was manipulating things from the beginning, and so I've obviously I got to
Started a new game.
Yeah. How do I even quit now? I don't even know if I can quit here. I'm just gonna have to die. I think this is probably a good time to wrap it up. So rather than we can just reload next session and we'll try to continue. So I hope everyone liked this stream. We're gonna do these every week. So hopefully people will find them interesting enough. And it will be like a fireside chat to give us feedback on Dead House Sonata, or if you have questions on our other games. And it'll also be places to bring up questions during that are from. We're doing videos every week on YouTube as well. The videos on YouTube are going to be like 2 to 6 minutes. They're going to be short, but these streams will be a couple hours in general. You can count on myself, others joining. The cats will always be here, and hopefully people will find this somewhat entertaining. So I don't know. Thanks very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thanks, Ian, and
Be sure to check out our Discord and social media. The links are below in the stream. You'll find in the description below. And thank you for joining me, Dennis.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This was a lot of fun. It's our first stream, and if you're interested in Dead House Sonata, want to support independent development, check out our store, support us, see our merch. Anything that you can do as a gamer to help make this game a reality, we would appreciate. So thanks very much, everyone, and we look forward to streaming and doing this next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.